Alright, we're going to be installing fenders on an EcoTad today. We've already made some steps ahead of time. We're going to show you here. So for one, we've moved our rack struts supports to a forward hole, which you'll see that it opens this hole back here. You're going to need this hole for your fender. Up here, you need a 4mm wrench. Sometimes it helps if you have a short one like this to come in here to get this bolt out of here. So I've already loosened it, so I'm just going to pull my screw out. Okay, we slide our fender in, and you're going to put your screw through the fender. Back into the hole it was in. And you can wind this almost all the way in by hand. And then, like I said, you're going to want your little short wrench here to finish tightening that down. Back here for our stays, we're just going to spread them out. You have your little Phillips head screws here. And you'll adjust your fender up to where you want it to be. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and that's our rear fender. Again, I didn't do it, but you're going to want to make sure you finish tightening this all the way down. But that is the way that this fender installs on the rear here. Now we're going to move up to the front, and we're going to install the front fender on this for you. So we're going to start here on the fork. Remove your little rubber cap. And then we're going to need our 5mm wrench. Pull that bolt and that cap all the way out, and the top spacer, and take all that, set it off to the side. We'll loosen our handlebars. Should be able to. You may have to cut your zip tie. In our case, we are going to have to cut our zip tie. Oh, we do not have to cut our zip tie. Okay. Now, once the handlebar is removed, you're going to have two spacers here. We're going to take the one spacer away. So, and also, we've already installed our brackets on here. So, this is how your fender should look. For if you're standing in front of the bike like I am, this is the right side of the bike. So for the right side of the fender, we want this up front and we want this up back. Okay. We're going to slide our spacer on, and it's going to go all the way down. So you're going to leave one spacer. You're going to use this as your second spacer. We're going to get rid of the second spacer that was there to begin with, that came with the bike. Put our handlebar back on. Then we can put in our top spacer, and our bolt can go back in. And then we're going to want to come back to this in a few minutes to finish tightening that stuff down. The next part you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the steering, your steering linkage bar off. So that will be a 13mm and a 5mm Allen wrench. Okay, and you're going to drop the linkage completely down, remove the bolt. Okay, then your arm is going to fit right underneath of it like that. bolt goes through. Bring your steering linkage back up in there. Reinstall your nut. Okay. Then you're going to have to, once you get these all tightened down, you're going to have to reposition this exactly where you want it. Make sure it's covering your tire completely. Then you can get this, tighten it back down to the proper tension that it should be. We can come back up to the front here, position our handlebar back to where we want it at, and then we can go back to tightening, snugging down. Well, first we're going to snug down the top, then we can go back to tightening up the arm here, handlebar. And you're going to want to get these pretty snug. You don't have to go super crazy, but you do want them to be pretty snug. This is your steering. Probably always go back and forth too as I'm doing. And then we can come back up here, give it one last little check for snugness. Okay, so now you can give your fender any other adjustments it may need to make sure it's covering the wheel, and give it one last little tight check if you want, if you need to. This bolt in the back here, this nut, I'm sorry, is going to be an 8mm in the back when you install these, and you will need a 3mm Allen wrench. So once you've got everything where you want it at, you give it your last little snugs down. Okay. And that's how you install the fenders on an EcoTad.